Hello, friends, and welcome to another video. Today, I'm gonna be following a cupcake soap art tutorial and attempting to make my own delicious-looking soap cupcakes. They do look good enough to eat, but you really should not. Now, as some of you may know, I am a big fan of fancy soaps and schmancy bath products, whether that entails actually using them, or smelling them, or just circling them like a shark, watching their every move. I mean, looking at them. I like looking at them. So much so that last year, I actually tried following a YouTube soap art tutorial to try and learn how to make my own loaf of snazzy, swirly soap. My goggles are like, I literally can't see out of my left eye.
You've been sweating.
I've been sweating out of my eyeballs. With overall mediocre results, though it certainly was fun to try. Ooh, there's some pattern in there. That's something. And since that experiment, while conducting my normal soap watching routine, I've encountered an entire subcategory of sexy suds that really buttered my muffin. Soaps that look like desserts, like pies, milkshakes, donuts, cookies, and of course, cupcakes.
I want to go to there.
Yes, that is soap, not food. I know it looks tasty as hell, but it is not food.
Fish are friends, not food.
So, fueled by a deep desire to eat soap, I mean, get a hold of this stuff, I mean, pretty, I decided to try and follow a cupcake soap art tutorial and attempt to make my very own batch of bewitching bath treats from scratch. I don't know about you, but I'm aroused. Now, as for what tutorial we're gonna be following, I of course am still a beginner, so I'm gonna need some step-by-step instructions, especially since it seems like we're dealing with some kind of soap/culinary magic here.
This is not our first rodeo, but it is our second.
So today, we are once again going to be turning to the soap queen herself, Anne-Marie.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie from BrambleBerry.com and SoapQueen.com.
Whose tutorial for hanger swirl soap we followed in our last video. And luckily for us, Anne-Marie does have a sparkling champagne soap cupcake tutorial on her channel that seems pretty close to what we're trying to achieve.
Today I'm going to show you how to make these super sparkly soap cupcakes.
As well as all of the ingredients and tools you will need to follow it, for sale on her website. She's basically like the Comcast of soap making.
What do you mean, she puts the wires in the ground and she also owns NBC?
Yes.
Okay. Vertical integration at its finest.
She's a soap queen, that's why they call her that. She's got the book, the blog, the berry, and she's getting that bag. Anne-Marie is a saucy minx. She is, and she knows it. So after buying all of this, no, this video is surprisingly not sponsored, and watching her tutorial several times, we're gonna try and tackle it today. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say that in case this video sparks your interest, and you decide you also want to follow a soap art tutorial, a quick warning. Cold processed soap like this is made by a chemical reaction called saponification, which occurs when you combine oils with sodium hydroxide lye. So all of this cute soap you see here is, at its core, made by combining an oil mixture with lye water. Like this is made of oils and lye, that is made of oils and lye, and yes, that is also made of oils and lye. And fun surprise, by itself, lye can be pretty darn dangerous. Like it can burn your skin, it can get really hot and erupt out of its container, and it can even explode if exposed to the wrong thing. So if you're gonna try something like this at home, you're gonna wanna be very careful with it. They say to keep kids and pets away from it, and definitely do not get it in your eyes or eat it. So on that very positive note, let's try it. All right, so we are here in our kitchen with all of our soap making items set up, ready to try and make some cupcakes. So Anne-Marie's tutorial has basically like 3 separate sections. She makes the base of her cupcake as like a traditional cold process soap thing.
Loaf?
Block. Then she makes the soap frosting separately, and then also the pink embed that goes on the top. separately. Now, one dynamic with this tutorial is that unlike the last tutorial we tried, which was kind of like a one and done, like a you can follow the entire tutorial from start to finish in one sitting situation, this tutorial has a little more like prep involved. So we're gonna have to tackle this cupcake over the course of 2 separate soaping days. And just to complicate things further, I did also decide to change some of the colors and decorative elements of the cupcake recipe just to try and personalize them a little bit. I was thinking, you know, it would be fun to turn Anne Marie's glittery champagne cupcakes into like a bat cupcake for kind of like a nocturnal cupcake of the night vibe. But we will explain everything I changed and also what is happening on which soaping day as we go. So let's just jump right into it and make some poison cupcakes.
Before getting started with our soapy cupcakes, we need to do a little bit of prep.
So basically what Anne-Marie does on day 1 is that she makes the little embeds that go on top of her cupcakes, and she also makes her oil mixture and lye water for her frosting in advance. And first up on the to-do list,
we have to make that pink embed.
So basically Anne-Marie uses melt and pour soap for her embeds, which is essentially like the non-dangerous soap making stuff.
It's a 5-minute craft soap.
Basically, she takes blocks of soap that have already been through the saponification process, kind of chops them up into little bits, melts them down, puts some pigments in, and then pours them into her molds to make embeds. So that's what we're gonna do. Starting by slicing up 4 ounces of melt and pour soap base. All right, I think I just like do this, kind of. Oh, honestly, cutting soap is the best. I don't know why it's like ruffles patterned. I think it's just for fun.
They got ridges.
Melt and pour soap, it's got ridges, man. And then once we have all of that chopped up, all right, bloop, we gotta blast it in the microwave.
It doesn't take long to melt, so make sure you're melting on 10 to 20 second bursts.
Sorry if our microwave's gross.
Is it gross?
It's a little gross.
Hello.
10 seconds, here we go. Smells like tortillas over here.
It does.
It's making me hungry. And once it's all liquefied, ooh, it's melty. We're ready to add in our colorants and pour the mixture into our molds. Now, this seemed like a sort of area in which I could have some creative freedom, add some customization to our cupcakes. So I really went rogue here and got completely different embeds from Anne-Marie. I just went ham on Etsy and I just did my own thing. So I got a bunch of like bat molds and like star and moon molds. I also changed the color of the embeds. Instead of going for pink, I went for gray and stormy blue.
So basically this cupcake is gonna be like if you had a sprinkles collab.
Yes. So we've gotta plop our micas into our melt and pour base and really just mix them in there, stir up some trouble. Oh yeah.
Now I'm noticing a few clumps, so just do a quick spritz of rubbing alcohol and poof, those little mica bubbles burst.
See, those are those bubbles that Anne-Marie was talking about. Whatcha!
4 times.
They burst 4 times?
4 times.
Oh, okay. 2, 3, 4.
Oof, I'm getting a contact drunk from that.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
And next, it's time to pour. All right, are you ready for my jelly?
Yes.
I don't think you are. Oh shit, I'm really nervous.
Oh yeah.
Bat. Now for this step, I'm not really gonna worry about like sort of neatly pouring because I figure like we can always use like a little like razor or X-Acto knife to cut off any excess in case we have some pour over. So I'm gonna worry about filling them. That's the vibe. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. If they get a little overfilled, I'm just gonna live with it. Fuck. Oh my God, okay, never mind. That's a lot overfilled.
That's a little more than usual.
I'm trying my best.
We're not gonna blame it on you. We're gonna blame it on the alcohol, right?
Sorry, I'm blackout right now. What's going on? All right, so I have poured my melt and pour soap into my embed molds. I did not do a good job. I literally I scarfed it. I'm not gonna lie. But here's to hoping they turn out okay anyway, or at least that I can fix them later. So we're gonna let these guys sit here for a while and then we'll find out in a second if they worked. I don't know. I might have to do this again.
In addition to prepping the melt and pour ahead of time, the ingredients for the soap frosting need to be prepped ahead of time as well.
And basically the reason we're making our oil mixture and our lye water for our frosting now is so we can leave them in the fridge overnight, because they need to be cold when we combine them in order for them to like make frosting peaks.
Measure and melt out the frosting oils.
Starting with the 3.8 ounces of cocoa butter, which sort of conveniently come in like chocolate chip form. They call them pastils. Oh, that's so fun. It's like Dippin' Dots or couscous.
It's got a couscous vibe to it.
It's got couscous vibes. Followed by 3.8 ounces of shea butter. It looks like goat cheese.
It does.
Or like a hunk of mozzarella.
Oh yeah, hunky.
Ooh, that's cheesy. It's kind of crazy.
It's dangerously cheesy.
It's dangerously cheesy. And then finally, 3.8 ounces of olive oil and 7.6 ounces of coconut oil. So now that we have all of our oils measured out, I'm gonna melt all of these together in the microwave, say farewell to my little friend. Then give it a quick little mix. Oh yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. That is smooth. And then stick it in the fridge for cold use tomorrow. And then we're gonna move on to the lye water for this step, which means it's time to bring out the toxins.
Bring them out, bring them out.
First, suit up for safety. Gloves, long sleeve, long pants. Kids, pets gone in the other room, and of course, the always protective goggles.
All right, so I am going to start off by putting 6.3 ounces of distilled water into our 8-cup mixing bowl. And we're using such a huge bowl for such a small amount of water because I actually have a cap for this one. So we can put it in our fridge with a cap on, but no one cares. So let's just do it.
Well, it's just to let everyone know that we're trying to be safe here.
I'm using a cap. I'm using protection.
Why are you so defeated?
I don't know. No one cares about why I'm using a big bowl. I don't know, I just thought it would be better. Leave me alone. All right, that's good. That's 6.3 on the dot, baby. I'm talking about distilled water, baby. And then next up, we need 2.8 ounces of the big baddie. So I am going to take my lye out of its biohazard bag.
It's hazmat suit.
It's just, you know, it's the universal sign for danger, but we're doing it anyway. And after we measure it out, we're gonna add our lye into our water. Now, I'm gonna be stirring my lye in slowly with a stainless steel spoon. This will cause a chemical reaction and it's gonna get hot in there, so just know that. But it's not gonna stay hot because we're gonna put it in the fridge. So I'm gonna cover it up and stick it next to our oil mixture. And that is gonna wrap up day 1 of our soap cupcake making adventure. So first up on day 2 is to make the proverbial stump of the cupcakes, the cake part.
Yeah.
If you will.
All about that base.
The butt, for which we're gonna need pigments, fragrance, oils, and lye water, which we're gonna combine and pour into our special soap cupcake mold.
Start by dispersing our colorants.
Now, Anne-Marie uses white, green, and blue colorants together to make like a teal cupcake. But I was thinking, since we're going for sort of a nocturnal vibe with our cupcake, why not go for something a little darker?
Ooh.
So I picked up this, where is it? It's literally, oh, right in front of me. There we go. This orchid mica, which is like a deep purple pigment. So I was thinking we'll just use this.
Add 1 tablespoon of a lightweight oil into 3 different mixing containers.
Now, for the sake of the recipe, I figured we should just use the same amount of oil. 1, 2,
3/4.
3. And same amount of pigment that Anne-Marie does, but it's just all gonna be orchid mica. And then it's time to mini mix them together.
Oh shit, that looks like a fidget spinner.
It does.
All right, I think we're good to go.
Great. All right, so now that my pigments are mixed in, I can retire my mini mixer for the time being and move on to our fragrances, I believe.
I'm going to measure out my champagne and my white rose fragrance oil from brambleberry.com so that everything is ready to go.
I should put them somewhere, right? They should go somewhere.
Ideally, yes.
Let's put them in here.
This blend is 1.5 ounces of champagne fragrance oil and 1 ounce of white rose fragrance oil.
All right, I'm gonna start off with the champagne. Ooh, that smells amazing, actually. I'm not even that big of a fan of champagne, but it smells like our car air freshener we used to have.
Oh, damn, really?
It smells like Sprite. That is the best thing I've smelled all day.
You've been smelling me all day.
I've just been smelling Tyler all day, and he smells like a...
Yeah, what do I smell like?
You smell like a roasted ham. Oh, the white rose is way anticlimactic now. Yeah, it's just got kind of like a soapy grandma's house smell.
Together, it's a wonderful fragrance.
All right, so those are my fragrance oils prepped. And now we have to move on to making the oil mixture for our bases. All right, so for my oils, I'm gonna start off with 2.4 ounces of sweet almond oil. Oh, 2.4 on the dot, on the dessert. People don't do that anymore, do they?
No one ever did that.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen. Followed by 4 ounces of coconut oil, 4 ounces of olive oil, 4.8 ounces of palm oil, and then finally 0.8 ounces of shea butter. Oh yeah, that is a crinkle cut goat cheese slice. That's what I'm talking about, man. And with all of those melted, oh my God, it's hot. It's hot! And then mixed together, our oil soup is ready. And it's time now to make the lye water for our base. It's poison part 2. Bret Michaels strikes back. So I'm gonna suit up for safety. Again, hair is up, goggles are on, and gloves are on. Cats are gone, singular cat is gone. Just me, Tyler, and some toxins. Let's do this. Now, unlike for our soap frosting, where the oils and the lye water need to be cold when we combine them, for our cupcake base, we're gonna mix them when they're at about 120 degrees Fahrenheit each. So we're gonna have to wait for our lye water to cool down. All right, right now it's at 181 degrees Fahrenheit.
So we got a second here.
And also microwave our oil mixture to be warmer. Yeah, let's do that. And after a few minutes, they're both at around the right temperature, so they're pretty much ready to be saponified.
Mix the lye water and the oil.
All right, so now I'm gonna pour the lye water down the shaft of my stick blender, all right?
Now, pulse your stick blender while stirring
Oh shiz, I forgot how aggressive this thing was.
until you get to a nice light trace.
Now, whilst blending, Anne-Marie mentions this thing called trace, which is basically a term that refers to the thickness of your soap batter. Like once you completely combine your oils and lye water, you can stop blending pretty quickly to get a light trace, or a soap batter that's still liquidy and pourable, or continue to blend to get a more viscous, medium, or thick trace. And one thing I learned the hard way last time is if you overblend your soap, you can't really Control Z it and make it a lighter trace again. Oh no. So we're gonna be really careful this time and try and get a super light trace to start with. Do you think it's trace yet? I would say I would give it like a couple more bursts because we've been burned before. It definitely looks like it's all combined. It might not be trace yet, but let's just put in our pigments now, and then if it's not trace enough, we'll just mix it more later.
Yes.
Right?
Light trace is a perfect time to add fragrance and colorants.
All right, so now we go pigments.
Okay.
And once our color is fully mixed in, ooh, that's pretty. That's super pretty. We have to put in half of our fragrance blend as well. Anne-Marie just eyeballs it, so as she says, we do. Maybe that's about half?
One more little spritz.
Continue to blend until medium trace or a thin pudding.
Oh, shiz. Okay, we're good. I think maybe we need to eat more pudding to become better soapers. Cause like what is a light pudding versus a medium pudding versus like a flan? Like, I don't know.
Once you're at a thin pudding trace, pour this into the mold and tap for bubbles.
All right, I would say that this is good to pour. What do you think?
I think so.
Great, let's do it. All right, so I have my cupcake mold. I say let's boogie.
Boogie Central.
I have to remember this isn't like actual baking where you're not supposed to fill it to the top. Shiz.
Everything okay?
Yeah, of course. I just don't know how to get the last bit out.
Give a little spank.
Smack that, as Akon says, nay demands. Smack that. All right, so now that our mixture is in, I'm going to jiggle it a little bit to get rid of air bubbles and to like settle the soap into the mold. All right, did we shake it? I feel like we shaked it.
You shooked it.
And then it's time to move on to our cupcake frosting, which surprisingly and intimidatingly is the hard part.
Move your soap out of the way, and it's time to work on step 2, soap frosting.
Okay, so for our frosting, we're basically gonna be hand mixing our now solid oils, sort of like butter in a buttercream frosting, and then adding in our cold lye water and fragrance as we continue to beat, so that we come out at the end with a smooth, pipeable frosting. All right, ready?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Wah! Wah! Wah!
This is a pretty good, I see some hard chunks in there. I'm just gonna break them up.
Making some inroads in there.
I actually am.
You're gonna be doing this for like 5 to 7 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
I want everything to be nice and smooth here.
Wah! Wah! I feel like I'm trying to like ride a wild stallion. Wah! Wah! I'm okay. I'm okay.
Oh, you know what? You're kind of doing like the bucking bronco at a bar.
Yeah, this is my mechanical bull. This is it. All right, let's take a look at this. I think that we might be pretty softened. We basically just need it to be soft enough so we can like fold in the lye water and then start whipping again.
Yeah.
I think I'm feeling that from it. So let's bring out the lye. Now, Anne-Marie basically says, if you're feeling daredevilish enough, you can pour the lye water in while you're hand mixing, like with the electric mixer. But I am nervous that I'm not good at this. So I'm gonna fold the lye water in with a silicone spatula, as she says it is fair to do. It sounds squelchy, doesn't it? Just to minimize any lye splashing.
You never, ever, ever want to splash lye anywhere.
It's not an iconic duo, lye and splashing.
No.
So it's better to be safe than sorry and just mix in very, very slowly.
The lye water is kind of like sort of pooling at the bottom a little, but I think I'm getting it. I will have a very buff hand by the end of this. One buff hand. Are you into that, Tyler?
I'm gonna have to be.
Once your lye water is fully incorporated, turn on the blender and mix for another probably 5 to 7 minutes.
All right, so all of our lye is at least in the bowl and attempted to be folded in. So let's turn on our hand mixer again and just blend the crap out of this thing.
Let's get those muscles, babe.
All right, let's do it. I got it. Here we go. It's happening. It's happening.
You're really looking for your icing to be able to form and sustain peaks.
Anne-Marie's keyword here is definitely peaks. She wants peaks, the whole peak and nothing but the peak.
Peaks.
Peaking ability.
Ooh, it's getting fluffy.
Fluffy?
It's getting fluffy.
Oh, it's looking good, actually.
I mean, I feel like this is pretty frosting-y. I think that it is sustaining peaks. So I think we could be ready to put in our fragrance oil, shall we?
Yeah.
Pour the rest of the fragrance oil blend into the icing. Notice this kind of decreases the peaking ability. You're gonna have to blend some more. Probably another 5 to 7 minutes.
I'm trying to make sure I get it all. Get every inch of this thing. Just show it no mercy.
You want your mixture to be soft enough so that you can actually put it into the frosting bag, but yet it needs to also be strong enough to hold whatever frosting peaks you create.
Oh yeah, Ty, that looks like a peak. What do you think about that?
I'm peeking so hard right now. What?
What?
This is a really kind of fine line to find.
All right, I think that it can sustain peaks.
I think so too.
I think it can, because I feel like, take a look at this. Yeah, ignore the incredibly messy bowl.
It looks like frosting.
It looks peaky.
I think we should go for it.
All right, let's do it. So now I am going to spoon my mixture into my frosting bag and then drag my cupcake bases into the frame. And we're gonna try to do this thing, man.
Just gonna scoop a couple scoops into my frosting bag.
My hand is literally shaking.
Because you're nervous?
No, because I've been hand mixing for so long.
Oh, damn.
Anne-Marie must be secretly buff.
Dude.
Not so secretly. Anne-Marie's definitely buff.
Yeah.
There we go. Hold firmly with one hand and then guide it to the middle of the first cupcake and just put a dollop of frosting in the middle of that cupcake.
Well, it's the moment of truth, everyone. Time to frost.
Mom's spaghetti, Safi.
I'm going for this one. Okay, that looks okay.
That looks incredible.
That looks okay, right?
Now move on to the next one. We're going for a dollop in the middle of each of our cupcakes.
All right, here we go. We're dolloping, Tyler.
Maybe give them a little bit more. She kind of gives it like 2 ounces.
Like a bigger dollop like this?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that looks better to me.
Perfect. We're gonna build around these.
All right. Are they holding their form?
Dude, definitely.
Cool, so what I need to do now is,
Do one circle around the base of that dollop.
once again, I'm going for the same one, okay? Oh, 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 oh,
Are these good
Okay.
Good or bad shits?
Tyler, I don't know.
Move on and do all of the cupcakes.
Oh,
This provides an excellent base to build gorgeous soap frosting peaks.
Okay, boys, stay frosty here.
And now it's time to do our peaks.
All right, so I'm gonna go
For all the marbles.
northwards, if that makes sense.
Let's go north.
I'm gonna go towards the sky. Okay, I'm so nervous.
Start going around your dollop of frosting. There we go. Now we're building it. Perfect.
Boop.
Oh, dude.
It looks like an amateur Yogurtland experiment,
Okay.
but it's not a fail.
No, it's not. It's sustaining peaks. Look at that peak right there. Right? Look at that. That's like a cupcake that's discovering itself.
All right, let's try this one too. Oh,
A little bit of a rogue squirt.
I did start off with a rogue squirt.
That looks pretty solid, Safiya.
All right.
I'm almost not exhaling. I'm so worried that these are gonna fall, but they're doing great.
The good thing is our windows are open, so it's kind of cold in here,
Yeah.
which is supposed to help the peaks stay.
Yeah.
Nice, good height.
It's kind of like a nipple.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's exactly like a nipple, actually.
it is literally a nipple.
There, I love the height we're getting on this. This is just fantastic.
Now, I want to get a little aggressive with this guy and go a little higher.
Should I make this one taller? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. Make this guy Mr. Frosty or whatever.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. That was really tall now.
Yeah, it's the fucking Lizard King.
You're gonna regret the day you ever messed with me. I'm the fucking Lizard King. You don't even know my real name.
I will not be blackmailed by some ineffectual, privileged, effete, soft penis debutante. You don't even know my real name.
That is what Anne Marie is gonna say when she calls our house later.
I'm the Lizard King.
All right. So it would be stupid for me to try and add more frosting to any of these, right? This one looks like it could use a little bit more, but at the same time, I feel like if I fuck it up worse now, I'll be mad at myself.
Okay.
So I should just not.
Put it down.
All right, I'm gonna put the frosting bag down.
Put the bag down, lady.
Now, just the last final few touches. Time for glitter, because everything is better with glitter.
Now, Anne Marie uses sort of like a plain white glitter, but on brambleberry.com, I found some silver hollow glitter,
Damn, that's a good.
and I figured we had to get it.
Oh, yeah. Now it's over your sleeve.
Oh, now I'm just covered in hollow glitter. Didn't think about that.
And then finally, gonna top with those really cute pink embeds from earlier.
All right, so now we have our embeds. We popped these guys out a couple of hours ago. It's going down. I'm yelling timber! Just in case we needed to redo this entire step, but thankfully, a lot of them came out pretty well, like most of the stars. Oh my god, it's cute! Some of the moons. Oh wait, it's actually, I would even say this is hella cute. And even a couple of the bats. Oh my god, he's so cute and fun. Came out looking pretty good, or at least medium. Oh, the back is messed up, but the front is okay. And the ones that I completely scarfed with my bad pouring job were at least salvageable with an X-Acto knife. Now that's what I call surgery.
They're going under the knife.
What is this? The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
Yes.
I'm not gonna apologize for that. I'm just gonna let it sit. So we've got a fair amount to work with in terms of what can go on our cupcakes. So what I'm gonna do is sort of treat my frosting like clouds in the sky, with my stars and moons peeking out from behind the clouds and the bats sort of flying in front.
That one is pulling it off.
Yeah, I do like that. Obviously, I have no idea what I'm doing here, but I'm just trying to let the muses guide my hand. Also, based on the nature of the soap cupcake, once you place an embed, you can't really move it, so I just gotta be okay with wherever they end up.
It's kind of like Pringles, but you know, the fun does stop, right?
Once you pop it, the fun does stop. Yes, absolutely. All right, so those are all of our embeds placed into our cupcakes. I'm honestly honestly pretty pleased with them. This is my first batch of soap cupcakes, and I feel like expectations were pretty low. Okay, so I'm gonna stick my cupcakes in the fridge for a couple of hours. Ooh, welcome to Booty Town. What that means, I do not know. Just so the frosting really sets. I hope everything goes okay in there. All right, I guess we should clean up now.
Probably.
All right, so it's the next day. The cupcakes have been sitting in the fridge for a couple of hours and then out of the fridge for many more hours. And it feels like it's time to pop them out of the mold so they can cure in the air.
Pop those bottles.
Yes, it's time to pop these bottles. It's time to clap these cakes. What? Time to, never mind.
Is that a butt thing?
As I said it, yes, I think so. Yeah, all right, I'm going for this one.
All right, let's do it.
So the way it works is you pull gently away from the side. You're really working to release this airlock.
So basically I have to like push it up and then grab it from the base. Oh my God, I think I just put my nail in it. Oh, it's out. Did I put my nail in it too bad? A little bit. I can just smooth it though, right? It's soap, it's fine.
It's soap.
All right, that looks pretty nice. The frosting is very asymmetric. It's interpretive, modern, flowing. It's like a Gaudi house. But besides that, it looks like a cupcake to me.
I mean, Saf, it looks pretty good.
So let's get the rest of these out here and see how we did across the board. Oh, not bad, not bad, not bad. That's cupcake number 3, oot in a boot.
Oot and a boot.
Now there are a couple of these that are a little less lumpy, a little more straight up and down, but in general, I would say that they are cute, sufficiently batty, still intact, but not very uniform. In fact, if I had to describe my cupcakes, it would be homemade with love, but not much skill.
I think you should just go the route of modern art and just go, everything's intentional.
Right, exactly.
It's f***ed up, meant it.
I put my nail on the side, meant that too. That rogue squirt right there, all part of the plan. So with that in mind, I hereby present to you our finished cupcakes. Now, in order to actually use these guys as soap bars, we had to wait about 4 to 6 weeks for them to cure, or for all of the water to evaporate out of them. I'm so nervous. How do I even do this?
I don't know.
Oh, it feels soapy. But they did last all of those weeks sitting in our kitchen, despite almost being destroyed by a rogue sriracha bottle. And although we were able to get a nice lather going. Oh, there we go. Ooh, yeah, okay. Look at that. I will say they are kind of a strange shape to wash your hands with because I'm not exactly sure like how I should grasp them. And I also feel a little sad using them because I want them to stay perfect little cupcakes, you know? So I feel like these will probably end up being more like decorative bath treats rather than functional ones. But nonetheless, I feel very accomplished having made these on my own, or at least in Anne-Marie's shadow, because it was overall pretty hard, especially for a soap peasant like me. Thankfully now the only challenge left is to not eat them. So I'm off to get a real cupcake before things get ugly. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked that video, make sure to shmash that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to shmash that subscribe button. A big shout out to Katie for watching. Thanks for watching, Katie, and I will see you guys next time.